Hello everyone, welcome to Everyday Essential series of Shantha Lakshmi IAS Academy. So today in this video, let us discuss the topics of 21st of August 2025. First, we are going to discuss about the IRIGC TEC. We'll see what is the full form and what is this all about. And second, about the Agni 5 missile. And third, about the CSDS, that is the Center for the Study of Developing Societies. And fourth, about the Eurasian Economic Union. And finally, GABE and country mapping. So starting with our first topic, that is the IRIGC-TEC, which stands for India-Russia Intergovernmental Commission. India-Russia Intergovernmental Commission for Trade, Economic, Scientific, Technological and Cultural Cooperation. So yesterday we have seen about the SRM, right? The Special Representative Dialogue or the Special Representative Mechanism between the India and the China on the question of this boundary. Now let us see the diplomatic or the bilateral forum between the India and the Russia, that is India-Russia Intergovernmental Commission for Trade, Economic, Scientific, Technological and the Cultural Cooperation. So why we are discussing this right now? Because the External Affairs Minister Jaishankar has co-chaired this 26th session of this IRIGC TEC along with the Russian counterpart, where he highlighted the need to address the trade imbalances and deepen the economic ties between India and Russia. We all know that the US has imposed sanctions on India. So India is looking for the other alternatives for the trade. So regarding that only, the Minister of External Affairs also co-chaired this IRIGCTC, where he discussed more in detail about the trade between India and Russia. After 2021, the trade between the India and Russia has been increased from approximately 13 billion to 68 billion. This is the status of this after 2021 when the Russia-Ukraine war has started. So going to the basic details of what is this IRIGC-TEC. See, this is a bilateral forum, which means a high-level dialogue which includes the discussions on the trade, energy, defense, and the cultural matters also. So this was signed between India and Russia in the year 1992. And the first meeting was happened on 1994. So who are the representatives or who will involve in this IRIGC-TEC? That is the Minister of External Affairs from India, and from the Russian side, this will be represented by the Deputy Prime Minister. So this IRIGEC, this is the India-Russia Intergovernmental Coordination Commission. Along with this trade, economy, technological, scientific and the cultural cooperation, we also have other division under this IRIGC, that is the military and the military technical cooperation. This is also the division of this IRIGC only. Remember, it is a bilateral forum which involves the discussions between Minister of External Affairs from India and the Deputy Prime Minister from Russia. And moving to a second topic, that is the Agni 5 missile. So why we are discussing this? So yesterday, India, that is on 28th August, India has successfully test-fired this Agni 5 missile, which is the intermediate range ballistic missile from the integrated test range at Chandipur, Odisha. So we'll see what is this Agni 5 missile. So this Agni missile is a basically medium to intermediate range ballistic missiles. So we have the missile, and under this Agni is a ballistic missile. So now your homework, go and check the difference between ballistic and the cruise missiles. What is the difference between the ballistic and the cruise missiles? And this was initiated under the project Integrated Guided Missile Development Program in the year 1980. And we have many series of this Agni missiles. See, Agni 1. Agni 1 is a short-range ballistic missile. It is a short-range ballistic missile which has the range of 700 to 1200 kilometer. And then next comes the Agni 2, which is the medium-range ballistic missile which has the range of 2000 to 3000 kilometer. And then comes the Agni 3, which is the intermediate-range ballistic missile with a range of up to 3500 kilometer. And then comes the Agni 4, which is the advanced medium-range ballistic missile which has a range of up to 4,000 kilometers. Now we have this Agni 5, which is an intercontinental ballistic missile. That means this missile will move through the continents. We can launch this missile and can launch to the other continent. That is intercontinental ballistic missile, which has a range of 5,000 to 5,500 kilometers. And we also had this Agni Prime series. This is the new generation or advanced new generation Agni missile, which is up to a range of 1,000 to 2,000 kilometers, having canister based mechanism. Canister based means a canister will act as a shield so that other missiles or other radars cannot detect this Agni Prime missile. And we also have this Agni 6, which is in the operational or the development stage. So these are the Agni series. Remember, Agni is the medium to intermediate range ballistic missile. Now moving to a third topic, that is the Center for the Study of Developing Societies. So why we are discussing about this organization now? See, there is a controversy and there is this hot topic going on in India regarding this Election Commission of India and the vote theft or the vote electoral fraud, right? So regarding that, the chairman of this industry or this organization, that is the CSDS chairman, has put some figures in the social media account telling that the voters were declined or the voters were reduced in the MLA Legislative Assembly elections compared to the Lok Sabha elections, which happened 6 months before with respect to some constituency in the Maharashtra state. And however, after that, he deleted that post saying that apologizing for posting the non-evidential and the fake data. So regarding that, the union government, the union education minister Dharmendra Pradhan has said that the union government's funds should not be allowed to be used for propaganda against the constitutional establishment, said by this minister, referring to a controversy over data analysis by the Center for the Study of Developing Societies. He said that the Indian Council of Social Science Research, which funds the CSDS, will seek explanation from the Research Institute. And regarding this, the Maharashtra government also filed an FIR also on this person. See, so what the education minister has said, the crux is that this CSDS is funded by the ICSSR, which is a department under the Ministry of Education. So he told that the funds, the union government's funds should not be used to propagate against the, used to propaganda against these constitutional establishments. So we'll see about this organization in detail now. So what is the CSDS? It is a Indian Research Institute, mainly focused on the research on the social sciences and the humanities. It was developed in the year 1969 by Rajni Kothari. And since 1969, it was supported by the Indian Council for Social Science Research, ICSSR, which is a department under this Ministry of Education. So this ICSSR is funding this Indian Research Institute, that is the CSDS. So that's why the Ministry of Education has told that the fund should not be used to propagate or used against the propaganda against the constitutional bodies. And this body is headquartered in New Delhi and its members comes from the diverse disciplinary backgrounds, research interest and the methodological orientation. Remember, the CSDS is mainly a research institute which is funded by this ICSSR. Now moving to our fourth topic, that is the Eurasian Economic Union. So why we are discussing this? So India resumes the talks for a trade deal with the Russia-led Eurasian Economic Union. So in approximately 2020 or 2021, after this Russia-Ukraine war began, India has stopped the trade talks with this Eurasian Economic Union. But now the situation is changing and we have to find other viable alternatives for our trade, right? So regarding that, India is resuming the talks for a free trade agreement, to have this free trade agreement with this Eurasian Economic Union. We'll see what is this Eurasian Economic Union now. So it is an international organization for regional economic integration. It was established in the year 2014 by signing the Treaty on the Eurasian Economic Union. So what this Eurasian Economic Union will do, it will allow the free movement of goods, services, capital and the labor, and pursues coordinated, harmonized and single policy in the sectors determined by this Eurasian Economic Union Treaty and other international treaties. So this is an organization for having this regional economic integration. It will allow the movement of goods, services, capital and labor, like the case of the EU. And its members include Republic of Armenia, Belarus, Kazakhstan, Kyrgyzstan and the Russia. So this is the Eurasian Economic Union. And now coming to the administrative or the governance structure of this Eurasian Economic Union, it has three main parts. That is this Supreme Eurasian Economic Council, which consists of the heads of this member states. So it is the supreme decision-making body. And then comes the Eurasian Economic Commission, which acts as a permanent supranational regulatory body. So this Eurasian Economic Commission will decide how to implement these decisions and the policies and help in this Supreme Eurasian Economic Council. This was based in Moscow, Russia. And then comes one court, that is the court of the Eurasian Economic Union. So what it will do, it will enforce or it will see that the uniform application of this EEA, this Eurasian Economic Treaty. And this court was headed in this Minsk, that is the capital of the Belarus. Now coming to a final topic, that is the Gabon. So here you can locate this Gabon on this western coast of the Central Africa. It's a country in the Central Africa which lies on the equator and on the coast of the Atlantic Ocean. Its capital is the Libreville, and it is also the Francophone country, which means the French is the official language here. Its rivers include Ogooué, and its peaks include the mountains, Crystal Mountains, Milendo and the Mingo. Gabon is the developing country. So you can see the borders of this Gabon here. That is this Equatorial Guinea here, and one is the maritime, that is the San Thome and the Principe Island and the Cameroon and the Republic of the Congo. Here it is this Atlantic Ocean. You can see the river Ogooué and Kinguli Falls and the Engui River also. So that's all for today. Thank you.